Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. A little bit of Grimm up in this piece in the form of their halftone. Yeah, this be a hazy India Pale Ale. It comes in at a whopping 6.5% alcohol by volume. And as of drinking date, this be like 2 weeks old. It ain't too shabby. It is a Citra, Azacca, Eldorado, and Simcoe hopped beer, as you can see on the side there. And yeah, it's a weird world we live in nowadays. I can get Grimm all the time. I mean, I think I picked this up. Where did I pick this up, actually? Grimm halftone. Where did I get it? I don't remember where I picked this up. I think it might have been like super local, like one of my really hyper local places. So, you know, seeing these beers kind of get out here in Jersey at reasonable price points, you know, I'm a fan. Label-wise, stipple. Stipple dotted is kind of like honeycomb to me, or black background with gold lettering. It's just, I automatically like it. And something about this stipple design on here, the font, the way they did the negative space on the fonting, the whole nine. This is the good stuff. That's the good stuff right there. So yeah. Anyway, hey, 6.5% hazy. That's what you want. You know, this nice kind of orange. At least let's rephrase that. What I want. I can go a couple different directions. Actually, I shouldn't say just what I want, because I could go with something turbid. I can go with something a bit lighter. But as far as a 6.5%, what I'm expecting to be is a kind of, or what I expect from Grimm to be most often not, is a surgically precise kind of hazy, and that's where this one looks. Doesn't look super turbid, doesn't look super thin. Has a nice kind of density to it, a little bit of solid orange core, a little bit lighter around the edges. There's a head on it, but I talked entirely too long, so it dissipated pretty quickly. You can see this barely off-white head, and it just looks the part of a very pretty hazy IPA. Let's even get a nose. I didn't mean it, but it smells pretty too. So it's the word of the day, I think, here is going to be pretty. It's a melange of everything in here, and I don't mean to say that in a way that I'm kind of like getting a little bit of everything. I'm just going to use that word. I think it's a very, again, purposeful mixture of all three typical elements of what you get from a nice hazy IPA. It's tropical fruit leaning. And I think you're dealing with a stone fruit just leading above a citrus. So we're dealing with that, but it's more a little bit of underripened, like running the gamut, I should say, of tropical fruit, from your star fruits to your melons to your mangoes to those kind of things kind of floating around in there. Nothing's overly sweet, at least perceptually in the nose. It has this nice richness to it, but not overly sweet. I don't think it's going to be a heavily sweet beer. And you get a decent amount of pineapple in this sucker. A little bit of stone fruit, like I said, citrus is almost in every hazy, but it has this prettiness, this lightness to it, this... Dare I say, I think I'm going to get a bit of green grassiness on this too. So it's just running through everything in a very delicate yet meaningful level. Hopefully that resonates with people out there. It doesn't hit you in the face with a 2x4 of hops. It's not like leading into one thing and just hitting you hard with that, or being like, this is going to be a super sweet, over the top up. No, it just, again, I kind of just reel back to the knee-jerk word of pretty. It smells like a pretty IPA. Yeah, it looked pretty. It smelled pretty. Let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, y'all. See, that's so good. Man, that's so good. And this is like, you know, at the beginning of this, typically, you know, don't like to deliver the whole preconceived notion kind of thing, but I said a lot of assumptions here. And one of them was a pretty surgical, deft hand at what they're trying to do, because that's kind of Grimm's MO, even when it comes to hazy IPAs, and it fits the bill here exactly. This isn't just let's boil some mash some grain and throw some brewer sugar in there and throw as many hops as we can, and let's see what happens. That despair does not exist if you do that. Cool mouthfeel. It has a softness to it, not a fullness, but a softness with enough to let you know you're drinking something hazy, but super hyper drinkable. It finishes dry. You get this nice little pop of sweetness when you drink it. You get an absolutely 100% sweet enough beer for a 6.5% hazy, And boom, I think it's a combination of hops. There's a bit of bittering here, just a little bit of that green floating around here. Then you have this fully attenuated beer that just finishes dry, but not too dry to where just like palate smacking kind of dry. And then when you get to the hop side of things, the expressive side of things, again, we're sticking to this slightly under-ripened tier of tropical fruit, more melon than anything else in the taste, tiered down. Well, actually, I want to throw pineapple in there too, then tiered down to stone, then tiered down to citrus. Everything has a little bit of pithiness to it. Everything has a little bit of dryness to it. Everything has a little bit of bitterness to it. That's why I say a bit of under-ripened. This beer is not sweet by any stretch of imagination. It's sweet technically. There's calories involved and there's sweetness in there. You have to have that balance off that bittering and whatnot. But as far as this beer goes, it gives you all those juicy parts, all those rich fruit parts that we've all become enamored with when it comes to new school hops, and delivers it in such a pretty, again, is the word I want to lean into, and I'm really heavily leaning on that word in this review, package that, man, this is absolutely one of the best IPAs I've had all year, without a doubt. This is fantastic. Man, that's good. Man, it ticks every box for me, from mouthfeel to fruit expression to there's even a bit of a crackery maltiness to this, so that you even have a malt bill in there. But it's the combination of how this beer finishes and how it expresses itself on the fruit side of things that is honestly is kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Gone the way, it's not the way of the dodo so far, but it's leaning in that direction, because everything is that let's throw all the hops that exist on earth at things. And even the breweries that do that and do that well, I enjoy. But there's something about this that is just a little bit more adult, a little bit more thoughtful. That I'm glad these exist. I'm glad these beers are still made, and I'm glad Grimm exists, because not that they don't make those other kind of beers, they'll do that, and they'll do that really well, but this to me feels like there's a plan and a purpose, and they nailed it. I'm here for it. Yeah, I don't know what else I'm going to say other than this beer, Grimm, Halftone, Hazie India Pale Ale. Is this one of the better Hazy IPAs I've had? I was like, yes, Mount Rushmore status without a doubt. 6.5%, not huge in ABV, so that's a nice bonus, and just hits all the marks for me. It's not as showy as some 2x4 to the face stuff, which I can enjoy, but there's something about this just makes me happy. And hopefully it makes you happy too. Value and availability. Grimm stuff can be a little bit pricey. I want to say $16.99 on this, maybe a little bit more, but honestly at this point I don't care. As long as it doesn't get into the mid-20s, I'm probably buying this. And leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like Hazy IPA, but you also appreciate a bunch of different styles, and you enjoy when there's a plan of attack and it's been followed and hit, because I don't see how that's not the case with this beer. If you like good hazies, you'll take this. Let's put it that way. There you go. Review in the books. Hopefully you enjoyed. Matt, Massive Beers. You can check me out on my social media stuff. Just type in Massive Beers. I'll pop up. Grimm, have you been to the brewery? Have you had their beers? Really curious to know if you've had this beer, and if you've had, let's talk about it below. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of a delicious haziness. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers, y'all. I'm gonna post that.